Greetings to you all, and of course, I do welcome you to this broadcast. Welcome to the platform where the People's Movement, where we meet you, the public, where we interact with you about matters relating to Guyana, especially that which pertains to the well-being of our people. We believe, and we've always had the conviction that it is the people of Guyana who will move the country forward, hence the name, the People's Movement. We are firmly convinced that together, as long as people understand their role and what they should be doing in society, it is our deepest conviction that we'll be able to accomplish significant things in this country of ours. We love Guyana. That's why we call her home. And it's our responsibility to ensure that the generations that come after us do not have the horror stories to tell that we're experiencing right now. Elections are swiftly creeping up on us. I consider it to be just a matter of days away. And if you are involved in leading or being a part of any political group, you should understand that you do not look at elections date as the 1st of September, because if you do not make it past the 14th of July, you are out. So nomination day is the most important day because that is where candidates and parties qualify to function or to serve or have a part or participate in the general and regional elections of 2025. These are about the most critical of all elections. We thought that 2020 would have been a huge moment and it was significant, but 2025, given all that we see in our society and all that we had to experience at the hand of this murderous clan, I call the People's Pathetic Party, the sticky finger group, the group that has been so corrupt that it has become normal in our society, the group that has made us convince as people, well, try to convince us that it's absolutely okay for policemen, not the army, to approach civilians that are unarmed. They made us believe, or trying to make us believe that it's okay to approach us with AK-47 rifles, assault rifles, used in military warfare. They have sought to convince us that this is acceptable. We therefore have an opportunity this year to cause all of that to cease, to put an end to it, and we shall. This is our moment. This is our time. This is where the people of this country would be able to move Guyana in the right direction. Can you hear me clearly? And can you also see me clearly? We have an extremely, for me, an extremely exciting night ahead of us because there are a few young men who will be joining us on this broadcast, whose faces some of you may know, others may not, but they're from Linden and or they reside here. And I want you to have an opportunity to meet with them and to hear from them. And you will hear why as we begin. Okay? So let me present to you the brothers. Here they are. I have one more to add. Grayson, when you're ready, just hop in. I think maybe going in from the gym or something. There you are. So here we have some faces of the people's movement, mainly men. And don't tell us that we're misogynist and we don't like ladies. We will have a night for women soon. But I wanted to sit here with the brothers for us to have this very interesting discussion. At least for me, it's interesting regarding elections to 2025 to 2030. Also, let me just say this. I believe in giving credit where it's due. The e-networks company came to have my internet fixed this morning after about 7 or 8 days. They came nonetheless. Um, because in Region 10, they say they have to bring, when it comes to line issues, somebody has to come from outside of Linden to fix your issues in Linden, and it takes about 5 to 7 days. So it doesn't matter what business you have to transact. Like me, you know what I have to do. I had to wait for all of these days to pass. But they came. And when the young man climbed on one of the poles, which had the power line, LECI, that entire pole fell on my fence. It was a disaster, but it was averted. The young man was atop the pole on the ladder. He came down with the pole. I heard the sparks and saw smoke and fire outside of the electrical response. And I ran outside, saw the young man jumping to get it, and he fell in the yard, which is good. But I must say that as soon as I called LECI, Mr. Avery Trim, within half an hour, the men were here and my problem was resolved. They changed the pole and that was solved within 2 to 3 hours. I give credit where it's due. I called the network technicians. They said they're not going to leave. They're going to wait until the power is restored. They will come back to do what they have to do because I have to go on the pole. As soon as I called them, they were back within 30 minutes. And so the problem is resolved. Things are good. Um, for me, that is because I can use the internet here again. So, brothers, welcome to the broadcast. We have Elton Sampson at the top. Just wave so people know you are, because these are faces you will see moving around and others with me in the community. So I don't want you to say that we send something on social media say that there's some men walking around with people's women's shirt and they're criminals. So you know who they are. Jason Bourne. Jason is there as well in studio in the yellow shirt, t-shirt. Grayson Ford, I think seems like he's one of the young brothers who's into bodybuilding and so on. He's here. A young man from Linden, Jason, and Grayson. In the middle, we have Marcel Williams, and of course, who can not know, or who would not know the highlight himself, Conan Marshall. These are all brothers here in the war zone, the battlefield, in the place where we know that if things do not change, if we do not change our experiences for our future, we don't know what then it would look like. So welcome to your brothers, starting with you, the more popular one, I should say, in reference to social media, the highlighter. And then we have got, well, the Marcelonons. You hear it. And I must say that Conan, would normally invite me to be in his broadcasts and he would normally sit with us, or have me sit on his broadcasts, his programs. And the other day I told you when we were driving with VPAC, Conan said live, he said, Jason came out as well. Conan said, that he has not endorsed anybody as yet. Conan said he had to wait for his endorsement. And I told you, I said, see, this is my brother. Imagine I'm in a car with him and he said, I haven't endorsed anybody yet. I make my announcement. I'm ready. But that's the love we have. And it was truly to me, refreshing and encouraging to know that Conan went live and he said, listen, I endorse the people's movement. And if you know Conan, if you know the highlighter, when he tells you that he's into something, he is into that. He gives his commitment. He stands by it and he works assiduously. So you're going to see us. We're out trying to get out there today, but it was kind of difficult given the rain and so on. But brothers, you're here tomorrow. Londoners will be out by the market, what we call the frontline area. From 11 o'clock, we will assemble at courts. We'll be there lunch break. And let us meet you. Let's engage each other. And we're going to be streaming live. So if you want to cuss us out, cuss us live. I don't have a problem with that. But just tell me why you're cussing. Don't start cussing for no reason. At least you could come in the camera and say, I'm cussing you because, and then we can move forward. All right. But don't just start cussing here. It ain't good. Please, if you have something to say, you're mad, come and tell me, I am mad at you, I'm upset, and you tell me why. You could cuss all you want. But if you just start cussing me, I feel say that you have a little problem. Don't do it. Tell me why you're mad, and we could deal with that. Okay? Because you're mature enough to handle whatever you have to say. We're not going to out there to say to you that you have to support us. We're simply going to meet you to let you know that we are present and we are all standing as true Lindeners to represent you in Region 10. And so let's begin. Highlighter, my brother, you endorsed the People's Movement. I would love for you to tell the audience why you had me as your brother waiting for so long. But I waited. I didn't have a problem with that because we're brothers nonetheless. But what would cause you to be a part of this movement? Just unmute for me. Great.
Pleasant good night to the viewing audience and to my wonderful brothers. Well, I'm the person who would normally just take my time and do my thing. You know what I mean? And for a very long time, I was looking at you, Mr. Landon, at your programs. I learned so much from you also. You know,
Thank you, man.
I learned so much that I had to correct myself many times. But I want to say this to you, Mr. Landon. You are a true leader. You are a
Thank you, brother.
true leader. If not today, I'm listening to you. Years now, I was listening. And I find you as a straight up person, an honest person, a no nonsense person. And that is the kind of leadership we're looking for. I endorse the people movement because of these reasons. I'm not looking for a government who's going to be lying to us, who's going to be putting us in swars, salawala. This is Grog
Right.
Talk and these kind
All
of things.
right.
We're looking for a government who's going to say that Guyanese people come first and we're here to work with the people of Guyana. We're not here to come to Linden and put we in no salawala again, or no fix. We need somebody that's saying that, watch me. We're going to open programs. We're going to edify our children them in the right way. We're going to, and stick to your plans. It's for a
Right.
few years now. I have been living in promises, and trust me, brother, I fed up. And, I see you are the only upright person who's standing up and fight against this wickedness that's going on. And I want to give him my thumbs up tonight. And I hope the audience feeling you as I do because you are a leader. So I endorse you for the third time. And trust me, I'm with the people movement. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my brother. And when the highlighter speaks, um, as the old people say, he spoke, and I'm so grateful. Um,
Yes.
and what's so important is that if those of you who know Conan and who know me realize that we've been doing so much in reference to highlighting the issues that pertain to, well, Conan focuses more on Linden, but I'm more in reference to most parts of Guyana that I can get to. But it has always been a cause whereby we love our country. This was never for me about getting into this election, and we get us as to why we're here as well. It was about I just couldn't stand the thought of our children, most importantly, having to go through what I have. I couldn't deal with it, and that is what brought me out. Grayson, you're here. It seems as if you're coming from the gym, huh?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, my fellow brothers. Apostle, good evening. Um, I'm a part of the People's Movement because I admire Apostle London's leadership. You understand? He represents us, and leadership for me is about representation because if you're the head, right, you have, you know, you're there
Mm.
to lead us, give us true representation, speak on our behalf. You understand? I like our needs and our concerns. I've noticed over the years, I think it was since 2021 or 2020, when they were making the COVID vaccines mandatory and trying to oppress persons. Apostle would have been protesting by himself until he was joined by a number of persons, right? And that shows of true leadership, right? When someone could stand by themselves for people, for those who can't stand for themselves. You understand? So I've been here, I've been admiring his leadership, and I want to be a part of it because I'm a person that I want to serve. You understand? I'm a person of servitude. Leadership is a matter of serving. You understand? You're not here for personal gains or anything. You're here to lead. You're here to speak out for other people, for the persons that can't speak for themselves. You're just here to ensure that everyone is heard, everyone's concern is heard, everyone's needs are met. You understand?
Yeah.
And I think it's something that is selfless, and I want to be a part of this. You understand? So yeah, that's why I'm a part of the people's movement, and I would like to endorse the people's movement. I would like to endorse Apostle London, and I would like to encourage everyone to just come be a part and remember, this is a thing. This movement is about the people. We're here to serve the people. No one is here for any personal gains. You understand? That's the main thing. We don't, even if you're not a leader, even if I myself, I'm a part of the people's movement. I have zero title. My title is servant. You
Right.
understand? I'm
I like
here to
that.
serve the people. I don't need a title. I don't need compensation. But I want my name to remember as someone that did something for people. You understand? I serve the people. You understand? I am not here to get any millions, any contracts or anything. I want my communities to be developed. I want to see my people thrive. I want to see my children, though I don't have any as yet. I want to
Right.
see my children come up in a society that's thriving. They're protected. You understand? They're cared for. You understand? And this is just my take. My take. I'm just a part of this because I want to see the people's needs met. The people's voices are heard. You understand? And everyone could live in decency. You understand?
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is
Thank you
just
so
my
much,
take.
Grayson. Thank you. And we'll get to your age. Hopefully you could tell us that. Because I know men don't have a problem. Men don't have a problem with the age. Because you should be the youngest in the room right now. I think you are. How old are you?
Uh,
Don't
I'm
if you
32.
lie to some
I'm
girl,
32
oh,
years
if
old.
you lie to some girl
I'm
now, don't
32
come and
years
tell.
old. No, no, no. I don't lie my age. I don't lie my age. I look
Right.
good. I look very good for my age, so I'm proud. I'm proud to let my age be known.
I must say that you do. All right. You're a young brother, and look at that, a 32-year-old man. And when all the brothers are finished speaking, I'm going to say something that may shock some in the audience. But let's continue. Elton, here you are. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Apostle, and a blessed good night to all the viewers, fellow Guyanese. Um, it's good to be here to talk to you tonight. I have joined the People's Movement, first of all, because of who the leader is. Apostle London is a man I know personally. In fact, he is one of my spiritual leaders. He is a man of integrity. He is a man who cares about other people. And he does all that is in his power to assist someone when they are in need. Besides that, Apostle Anna was able to build a team around him that are like minded in terms of caring for people. Look at the highlighter, for example. I used to be looking at his lives on Facebook, and I still look at his lives on Facebook when he's talking about the garbage and all of that in Linden, right? And he is just one, and there are others within the movement that really care about the people. I had some hope in 2010 when APNU was formed. Afterwards, those hopes were dashed. I had some hope in 2015 with the alliance and that coalition. But afterwards, those hopes were dashed. But I have a renewed hope now because I see a group of people that genuinely care about Guyanese, want to see Guyana go forward, are selfless, and are putting things in place for development for all Guyanese, not just for some. So that is why I'm with the People's Movement. And if you are listening to this program tonight and you want to see Guyana go forward, you want to see betterment for this country, then you need to join the People's Movement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And the chairman of the People's Movement has just joined. Our brother Theodore Adams. He's the chairman. He's the man who, when there are meetings and so on, he helps to keep us in check. Can you imagine that? As the leader of the People's Movement, I have to sit, and the chairman is the boss. He says who can speak and who can't speak,
Yes.
because we believe in democracy before elections. I must say that. So we function by a democratic process. There's a council called the National Executive Council, and they dictate through democracy voting where we should go, what we should do, with whom should we coalesce. That's the people we work with. Jason, you're here. Welcome to this platform for the first time, Jason Bourne, a brother. Was it Block 42? You saw us, him with us when VPAC came here and we did the broadcast together. Welcome. And why would you be a part of the People's Movement? Why would you choose to be a part of this movement called the People's Movement? Just unmute your microphone, tap your screen, unmute for me. I've got you.
Yeah, good night, everyone. I'm happy to be a part of the people's movement because I see leadership in you, Bishop Landon. I see leadership in you. Too long, we as Guyanese have been living under persons who call themselves leaders, but instead of leading, they dictate, right?
Mm.
And I don't want to be ruled by those type of people. So I would have request to be a part of the people's movement because I know with leaders like you, we as Guyanese will have better and not being forced to accept whatever they want to force on us. It's like Brother Grayson was saying earlier, he admired when you started protesting by yourself because they had dictated that, okay, you must take this vaccine. Whether you like it or not, you must take it. And I am totally against those type of things. So yes, I see leadership in you, and that is why I would have choose to be a part of the people's movement.
Thank you, my brother. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Um, we have our brother here, Marcel, and it's raining by Marcel. So if you hear some background noise, um, let's see how best you can hear him. Hopefully the rain stops. Marcel Williams. I hope you can hear us. Can you hear me, my brother?
Can you hear me?
Go
Yes,
ahead.
I'm
Go right
hearing you.
ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Yeah. A blessed good night to everyone. I must say it's more than a pleasure to be a part of this movement. Uh, let me first congratulate the leader of this movement and everyone else that is of this movement that I've admired. Let me start with you, a multitude of persons, because of your style, your lifestyle, what you portray to the world. You understand, to everyone, your leadership style, it's well admired. I admire that about you. Like the
Thank you.
other brothers would have said, for too long we have been issued with promises, umpteen promises. We've had enough of these promises that are unto today not fulfilled. Um, I have been part of other party, yeah, but level of leadership, the levels of clarity that I would have seen in you, it's I always want to be a part of this kind of movement. Now that I have the opportunity, I am so happy. This is what Guyanese was looking for all along. This kind of leadership is the leadership that Guyanese need, Guyanese is dying for. We need somebody who would be able to stand and face the axe pronto and call a duck. Whenever you see, if it's whatever it is, you call it out as it is. That's the
Thank you,
leadership
brother.
we need
Thank you.
to give. You're
Thank
going to
you.
have this, you're going to have that, and you can't live up to it. Another thing, We've been bombarded for decades, not only in Guyana, around the Caribbean, throughout the world, wherever Guyanese go. Guyanese always been bombarded by so many people for so many reasons, just because of a weak leadership. We've had enough. We've had enough. What we are experiencing here now, nobody wants to let loose of this. I want to also take the opportunity to endorse this party and you, Pastor Langdon. I want to take this opportunity at the same time to do this
Thank
and
you, my
give you
brother.
my full
I'm grateful.
support throughout. I am so happy
Thank you.
to be a part of this movement. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I'm so grateful. And before we move on to the other section, we must hear from the chairman, Mr. Theodore Adams, the chairman himself.
Yes, good afternoon or good evening once again. I got caught up on time. You know, the place over here, you know, it's bright as day. So I I be thinking it's 4 o'clock and it's after 8, you know. Anyhow, I wanna welcome all of you on the panel and the persons that have joined us on the live. You know, it's the People's Movement, of which I was elected chairman of this movement. Um, I'm passionate about this movement because it's a movement about people. It's about people and mobilization of people to work and solve our problems that we see in our communities. Um, for too long, I've experienced leaders, and if persons may know me, they would see me fighting with the town council, I'm fighting with the regional democratic council, I'm fighting with the government to have certain things in our communities either fixed, either done. And I decided to join my brother here, Apostle London, I think a couple of years ago. We were pushing, and I was pushing when it was just Apostle Nigel alone, you know. And I decided we pushing, and I kept putting up our emblem and all that stuff, and inviting people and singing the word of the People's Movement. And the People's Movement has now become a reality where we want to represent our our region, represent the citizens of Guyana, and we decided that we are going to contest in the 2025 elections because we are fed up. We are
Right.
tired of looking at the same old party go, party come. It's the same thing we get, and all we have is excuses while persons suffer. While our seniors suffer in their silence, while our youths are suffering and no one there to rescue them, that they now decide to go other routes in order to get satisfaction, which might not be the right route. And we want to make sure we're a part of the change that we want to see in this country. We are part of the change that we want everyone to enjoy. And that is why I joined the People's Movement. I've invited many persons. I shared our plans, our initiatives, our and how we're gonna move forward in the People's Movement. We're not fighting for position. We're fighting for solutions in our country to make
Yeah.
our country function like a country should function, to make our systems set up even in the ministries, in the region, wherever we want it to function as they are set up to function in a certain way. It's not pick up a phone and call a friend or buddy or whatever. We want systems to work and everyone will follow the line, toe the line, you know. And if persons will should review right now things, if you don't call somebody, you can't get something done
Right.
in a timely manner as it's supposed to, you know. If you're going to GRA, you have to call somebody. You're going to NIS, you got to talk to somebody. You're going to the passport office, you got to try to talk to somebody. And it should not be that way, right? We want a system to function that all Guyanese can enjoy. All Guyanese know that when I go to this office, I have a certain level of service, which I will appreciate and I will be thankful for. And I will give the persons giving us the service the respect they deserve. Now, we have to deal with the people that are giving or the persons that are giving the service. First and foremost, we want to make sure that they are rewarded properly, right? So
Right.
that is why, as I'm saying, I joined the People's Movement because we want to see happy faces. And when you go into government offices, everybody rinch up. If you're in any
Yeah.
corruption line, you rinch up. The only person be laughing and smiling is who control from the CEO of this department or something. Is only they be smiling because everything corruption in the line of business. So they reaping all the sweet. And the normal employee that has to deal with you, they're all rinsed up. Right? So we want to make sure that the employees are satisfied and they are comfortable in the way that government handles things the table so that we can make our contribution. And I encourage everyone out there to give the People's Movement your support, give the People's Movement your vote. Come together with us. We have work to do. When you look out your window, you will see that after 10 years,
Yeah.
$5.6 trillion. dollars. And what is different outside of your window in your area?
Mm.
Think about that, and then look at the people's movement for the change that you can contribute to and join this team. That's all for
Thank
now, and
you.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I said to the audience, brothers, that I will now, and I began to observe it. I asked you and the people who are here, why you would have chosen to be a part of the people's movement. I didn't preempt. I never said that I asked you to endorse me or anything like that. As I said, the highlighter Conan is the best of it. When he said the day in the car, I didn't give my endorsement yet. And we were with feedback doing a live broadcast. And I said, he said, I didn't endorse anybody yet. And tonight he spoke to why. But what I am humbled by is the fact that you chose to speak to me as a person and to what I represent without asking you. So people may be surprised at this, but I never asked any one of you, and you can attest that I don't play with that. You can attest to the fact that I never asked you to endorse me, I never asked you to support anything in reference to say I should be leader. I'm simply saying to you, why did you choose to be here? So this is the first time that I've heard you say in many cases why you chose to be a part of the people's movement. And it's humbling to know that as a man who stood alone, because I said my interest was in ensuring that the next generation and the older people don't suffer the way I've suffered and see the things I've seen and you're seeing. And that's why I chose to take a public stance when Frank Anthony was saying to me that I have to do anything in your finale. The worst thing anybody could tell me is that I have to do anything in reference to what I know should not be done. And when I went to that marketplace to stand by Mackenzie Market that morning, is when a finale had the nerve to say that those who do not take this vaccine are worse than the virus. Now, I said this is the limit because Burnham, Chetty, Donald, Janet, even Barrett never went that far to disrespect people. To say I'm worse than a virus, I got mad. My family, my wife didn't even know I got up. I said, I go into the market because there's no private broadcast anymore. I'm going to stand publicly to say that Irfan, your eyes past me. You can't talk. You won't tell me that in my face. So people saw me as this weird, sometimes this weird madman as a preacher. Head ain't good. My head ain't good because you're not going to disrespect me and get away with it like that. When it comes to my being a Guyanese, I lived away from Guyana for 15 years. I didn't come back home to be disrespected. I came to enjoy life and I came and met what I could not even imagine. Okay. So brothers, I'm certainly grateful. I thank you for the confidence that you repose in me and most of the fact that I didn't have to ask you and pay you and promise you a position to do this. And Grayson would have spoken as a young man to the fact that he just wants to serve. So we're going to go into a very, very critical aspect of our discussion in reference to election 2025. One mission, the voices of Linden. Now, brothers, and you can speak to this once I get through with telling my observation, then you can speak about it. When people are and you mostly been through quite a few elections apart from Grayson and so on, because he's a bit young. He may have had about two or three in his lifetime or so when he was eligible to vote. But others on this platform, you would have gone through quite a few seasons of elections, I call them, where politicians hop out on the road, they suddenly become nice to you, they want to shake your hand, they want to talk to you. The same people you're calling all the time couldn't get on the phone, they want to talk to you now. You never see them in the street standing for anything, but they want to talk now. And we're here. And I want to speak to you about what we have in our heads, in our minds, and what we have planned, and what we presented to the people. In the House of Assembly, give me an honest description of what you see in reference to members of parliament, in reference to what level of society in your mind they represent. Let me clarify for you. Do you see a market vendor? Do you see a man who sells snow cone? Do you see a man who weed the grass? Do you see a man who fixes pipe? Do you see a man like me who is on a roof working? What does the House of Assembly represent to you when you look at it? Who wants to start?
A
Let me
fish
start with
market.
Grayson, a young man.
Oh,
Okay, Jason, go ahead. You said fish market?
yes. I'm going to go with the fish market.
In reference to the people's the way, like, because remember you have different qualifications in life and so on. Do you see them as ordinary people, or as those who may be considered to be big boys and big girls?
We got this some breaking up, man. I'm not getting the area well. I think the rest of persons need to mute their mic.
Okay, brothers, just mute for me, please, so that we can grab. Let me see. Let me see if we can find it.
Yeah, just mute your mic,
Okay.
maybe.
Apostle, I just see them as ordinary people. I just see them as ordinary people because I don't put none of them above me and say, well, oh, you're better than me, or, you might be more qualified than me, but
Right.
we all are humans and we should have respect for each other and so on.
That's good. But Elton, when you look at the House Assembly, what do you see in reference to what I said, the spread of reference to representation?
Okay, what I see is a set of greedy bourgeois people stock up, and all they're thinking about is themselves and how they could fill their pockets. I see people who talk about caring and talk about representation, but they don't really represent. They represent their own interests, and it appears as though even when they have budget debates from year to year, right? They make a set of nice, and the points that they bring forward, they is like they're not able to be objective in what they're doing, right? And they they have, it seems that all of them have a type of politics that, how must I explain it? It's it's like a gujarat or politics. They're not being very objective in what they're doing, and they don't seem to have clear direction on a way forward.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I
Thank you.
see primarily.
Thank you. Yeah. So, well, we have a lot to talk about. So we keep our responses as brief as possible. Hit it like I like what's going brief, hit the point, because there's a lot I want to ask you. You speak to the people tonight. I'm just humbly interviewing you. So hopefully I do a good enough job. Grayson, as a young man, tell us what you see in reference to the strata of society in this House of Assembly.
As it relates to the House of Assembly, I didn't get to hear you properly just now.
Okay, right. In the House of Assembly, I'm asking because we look at there's an image in reference to society is normally we call stratified in layers. You have the upper layer, the middle layer. It's not a good thing, but it happens.
Mhm.
And so when you look at the House Assembly, or people come to campaign, or when they choose members to be or candidates to be members of Parliament, what strategy do you normally see how they represented there?
I'm I'm very happy that you asked this question because it was something that I wanted to speak to you about, right? For me,
Okay.
it's a big embarrassment, right? Because all they do is attack each other personally. They attack who has one CXC, who goes to bed at 8, who can dance, but they don't debate proper policy for the people that So as a way of improving people's lives, that's how I see it. We saw when they
Okay.
had the I can't remember what exactly occurred right at the moment, but remember when Priya was shouting rape in Parliament,
Right,
when
right,
no
right.
such thing was happening. So for me, it's and this would be like a disrespect to monkeys, but they behave the way monkeys would behave in the jungle. You understand? They attack
Wow.
each other, you know, and and the House of Assembly is one of the highest rooms in this our land. And if they're not there to make policies, discuss policies, and implement laws that will benefit the people, what's the sense there being there? You understand? For me, I'm really disgusted by it because I'm someone that I'm somewhat educated. I like to listen to educated people speak, especially in the House of Assembly. I want to hear
Right.
things that will move our country forward. You telling me how somebody has one CXC or disrespecting anyone or trying to taunt anyone, that doesn't benefit me. But you know what? They know that their supporters like that sort of entertainment. So that's what they're there to entertain people, and that's how they steal their votes. They're not there
Wow.
to make policies or do anything that's going to improve the lives of Guyanese. But the
Yeah.
entertainment is what draws some of the populace. You understand?
So
So yeah,
tell me
that's my
something.
take.
Tell
It's
me something,
very
Grayson.
embarrassing.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of let's say somebody works as a cashier? I'm not speaking down anybody's job. I just want to make a point to your observation. Have you ever heard of somebody like a cashier going to the House of Assembly and becoming a minister in the government? Or somebody who's maybe who does weeding the grass? Have you ever seen a political party present that image to you and say, listen, this person is a cashier at KFC and he or she is now going to be in the House of Assembly? Do you see that them presenting such people?
I've never seen anyone with that sort of portfolio be in the House of Assembly. But
And it
my
says
take
something,
is
doesn't it?
yes, it does because I'm well certain that if we put someone that's we would might see as lesser qualified or let's say like you said the cashier. I know there are some cashiers that would do a better job than a lot of them in there, because with I think also with authority comes responsibility. I know
Yeah.
that cashier,
Yeah.
even though we might think it's only a cashier, the cashier isn't going to say, "Oh, I'm just a cashier. I'm just going to be in there," and they're going to go and learn. They're going to elevate themselves. They're going to say,
Right.
"Oh, I need to learn to speak better. I need to learn about this. I need to learn how to bring about a bill in the parliament." Those are the people who try to put their best foot forward because we all know.
Wow.
I'm not sure, but a lot of us might have had fathers that they didn't have the um big paying jobs or what's not, but they put their best foot forward. They ensure
Thank
that
you.
provisions were made. You understand?
Thank you.
I
Thank you
just
so
think
much, brother.
if you give someone a chance, you understand. Once they're diligent and disciplined enough, they'll make the effort to be better. You understand? So even though they mightn't be there yet, they're going to climb the ladder to get where they need to be. That's just my
Thank
take.
you. Thank you so much. We talk about with the latter. Um, highlighter.
let, let me
Pick up
just
from
say
where Grace
something.
left off.
Let me just say something to the brother. The House of Assembly is a disrespectful place. You could find the most set of disrespectful people that's be in the House of Assembly.
No doubt,
I'm
no
going to
doubt.
say this. I'm going to say this
Let me just
to you.
let me just
Let
remind.
when you
Sorry to cut
hire
in you, right? Let me
lawlessness,
just
you go in.
remind
You
us about the incident with Darmlal
Right.
when he told the Muslim sister that she needs a dildo. Imagine
uh,
that's so disrespectful. And look where
right.
Yeah.
it's not only disrespectful, but look where it happened. You
Where it
understand?
happened.
They're the ones
Yes.
that supposed to be making laws. You understand? they present laws, bills that needs to be passed to govern us. And this in that house, and this is going to tell another woman, a woman. And mind you, right? We all came from women. We need to respect women, and that was very disrespectful. And imagine the young boys growing up, especially the ones in school that don't know better, right? Imagine if a teacher is to talk to them a certain way, if a school girl is to talk to them a certain way, if someone
Right,
on the
right.
road is to talk to them a certain way. They might not even know what a dildo is, but they know that he was disrespectful and they might use it to disrespect other people.
Yeah.
That's
All
So
that.
right.
true.
Thanks,
So
Jason. Yeah, Conan, you can pick up your point. Thank you.
yes, so true. So you know, Parliament is a disrespectful place. So when you want to hear nonsense, sometimes you just gotta go in the Parliament. Anyway, what I want to say is that the PPP party is made up of a lot of people who knows nothing about politics. Only one person in the PPP party or two I recognize as politicians. The rest of them take politics to another level. They take this politics to another level, and that is where our Guyanese being confused because instead that there be real politicians who would be looking out for our Guyanese people, they're doing their own thing. They take politics and make people the enemies and all these kind of things. So, you know, I disagree with these politicians, with the PVP people. So, I don't like that.
So tell me
Yeah,
something, Conan. Do you ever
yeah.
see what they call the ordinary man in Parliament, or behave? What they call it? If a small man, then do you ever see parties come and say we want this kind of person to become a member of Parliament or a minister? Do you get that vibe from them when they come around to you, or they only put some scholar or some lawyer or something? What guy is accustomed to when it comes to campaign time and candidates and so on? And you have a lot of experience with that with politics, I know.
With when I'm hearing you in and out, but
Oh, okay.
I guess
So
that you
no.
want to say yeah.
Is it? But I'm asking if in the general political culture, like now people have candidates and so on. Do you normally
Yes,
find people going to look for what they call the small man or the ordinary man or
yes.
youth man to put in the House Assembly? What's the normal image they give you of a leader for the House Assembly?
Somebody else could explain to me we will plan. Lanier breaking up bad. Somebody else could just
Okay, Brother Conan, could you hear me well?
yes, I hear you clear. Yes.
Apostle, what?
Hold on.
So,
Yeah, just with your mic. Yeah, brother. Yeah.
so Apostle is asking
Yeah.
whether you have seen like ordinary people, right, in the House of
Hmm.
Assembly,
Yes. Yes.
being in terms of the leaders that they portray to us as who are the persons that are supposed to be in the House of Assembly,
Yes.
who are the people that you usually see, what kind of jobs, what kind of qualifications they have.
Loud and clear. Well, we we I laugh because we know to ourselves that to join or be within the PPP party, you don't have to get qualified. You do not have to have a qualification. These people just put you there and work with you. We don't know how to teach you. And let me say this here clearly. The people them in the PPP party who are there, the parliamentarians who representing the PPP, don't know nothing about politics also. But they are there working amongst these persons. But for me, if I would make a choice, I would not put these people in parliament because they know nothing about who going there. Honestly,
So, so Conan,
they know
if you can hear
nothing
me,
about who going there.
so they got big positions. Some call lawyers. Remember that, they call lawyers and doctors, but they know politics. That's
Brother,
good.
when you look at this person's press conference, when you look at a press conference, something is asking these people for real. These people, they, they just come and talk a set of nonsense, things that ain't even relevant. And you just gotta ask yourself, these are the people that who said a leading week.
Yeah.
They you end up questioning your own self. So, I don't pay them no mind because they're relevant to me. So let's go on.
Thank you, Conan. Brother Elton, well,
Yeah.
you heard what the
I
question
wonder
or the
why
gist of
you
it.
break. I don't know why London breaking up stuff.
Are you hearing me? Is it good?
Yes, Apostle.
Conan, I don't know. Me and Linden Conan say no. Maybe rain by you or something. I don't know what's happening. Just mute your mic for me. But Elton,
Yeah, Apostle.
you asked Conan the question I was asking. So go ahead, answer that. The ordinary man, what you call the small man, the man who's weeding the grass. Do we see them picking him to be in the House of Assembly?
No, they don't. They pick people that have these qualifications, and sometimes is really certifications and not qualifications, because they have certificates with their names on it, but they are dysfunctional when you put them in the positions that go along with those certificates. And one of the reasons I'm able to say that is because on several occasions, even though I don't even have a first degree, because of my work experience, I was shortlisted for positions that required masters, right? And there were times
Wow.
when I didn't get those jobs, even though I was functional, but I was not certified. I didn't have that piece of paper with my name on it,
Wow.
right? So, and in the House of Assembly, it's the same thing we're seeing. Like, for example, we had a minister of religion being placed to look at roads and bridges in infrastructure.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
don't know which religious seminary teaches civil engineering, right? So, so no, we don't see the people in these so-called small positions. We see the people with
Yeah.
these things to the name, and at the end of the day, we end up with a lot of square pegs and round holes.
This is so good. This is good because I'm saying this is a very important aspect. We out here, and our chairman, I guess, is getting himself ready because one of the ideologies or the thoughts we have in the people's movement is that in this election, we're supposed to see the likes of Grayson, Conan, Jason Bourne, and so on, standing as representatives, even in the House Assembly. And I'm going to tell you why. I will discuss why. Because if Conan is a taxi driver or machine operator, and you're into this big infrastructure development, why don't we have the likes of Conan in the council, the regional democratic council or something, saying, or in the House Assembly, saying, I work in this field. I ain't trying to guess where I am. I am in this field. So our chairman is back. He was driving, so he's back on the block. So you have somebody who is in the field with the experience. So when you talk about drainage and irrigation and machine work in the canals, there's a person in the House Assembly or the council who knows what he's talking about. And so what else I just spoke about with Edgel. I published, and I wasn't being mean, I published Edgel's certificates, brothers, his qualification, not because I was being mean. I was tired of the road. I had to be driving through mud to go every day. I take my son to school. I get mad. The old lady was an old woman was walking through mud, and I said, "This is ridiculous." So I went to the Ministry of Public Works website. I said, "I need to see what is the actual qualification that makes these people do contracts so poorly." When I checked, 100% got to the Bible and teaching Bible and theology. So how could Barrett and Irfan honestly tell me as a Guyanese person that the best person to run the biggest, the most dominant ministry in terms of work, that's all you see now, roads, bridges, because the money passes so fast in there. You put a preacher with no qualifications in this area, but you wouldn't take a man who's been building roads since he was born, but he has no certificate. He's not called doctor something. He's not called bishop anything, but he built roads since he was a boy. That's what I'm talking about. He worked in drainage irrigation. He been around construction all his life. You say you can't come to parliament to make laws to help this country. We take someone who's never been qualified to do it and put him there. That's what I'm saying, that I believe in the people's movement, and we believe in the people's movement, that these brothers should be on the candidates list to serve in their community. Grayson is a young man who is involved in sports and so on, bodybuilding. He works with his hands. So who better to speak to the plight of youth in the House of Assembly if possible than him? It's not about how well he could talk, it's how well he could function as a Guyanese. Because speeches don't make a country run well. So our chairman is back. I asked the question, Mr. Chair. I don't know if you heard me because you were
Yes,
getting yourself together.
yes,
So go ahead, please.
I heard the question. I
Jump
was
in the
on,
conversation.
so I just changed device because I was on all the time. Yes,
Just to remind the chairman, like he up on the farm. I see a lot of coconut trees behind you.
it's a demonstration. It's a demonstration. All right, it's a demonstration. All right. So in the National Assembly, what I see, it's a bunch of persons that are selected to represent different communities without having a clue what is going on in these communities or in these different areas, but they're representing. If you notice, they are persons that represent in different areas that was never ever are has never worked in these areas. They've never worked in even the fields, the law, to know exactly what is happening. And I heard you mention if we've ever seen a cashier or a person that weed the grass or cut the grass in the National Assembly. We have not, because the selection for the National Assembly believes in elitist people that are elites. They should be there because
Right.
of they have some right, but they're not persons that directly represent constituencies, grassroots, and understand what is really happening. There's a disconnect. It's like
Yeah.
you have the Minister of Agriculture, and I love to speak agriculture because that's a passion of mine. And you have farmers that are suffering in so many ways. Tell me, if it was a farmer representing farmers in the National Assembly, do you think we'll have better results in the field of agriculture? I think so. And exactly that is what we are striving for, to have persons that understand what is going on in a certain field to be representatives
Yeah.
in the National Assembly. Persons that understand the area, that understand what is going on in your community in Linden, that understand that network with persons, that people listen to their concerns, and so they understand how to reach out. Because, as you know, I heard the conversation, as our apostle would have said, our leader, the only time you see these persons is around election time. It's either we come for your signature or we want to tell you to vote for us. And after they have told you that and they get into office and they get into parliament, you can never ever hear back from those persons. They would never come back to tell you, I want to thank you for electing us or as a party to go into the National Assembly to represent you. We would have seen it in so many areas that they came and they would promise you the moon. And what happened? Nothing. But when we have persons directly that are concerned with their constituencies, their region, then I think they sitting in the National Assembly, they can craft bills that will bring a benefit to their region, bring a benefit to their area, because they know exactly what is going on in that area. And I even advocate for the councillors in the
Yes,
municipality to be residents in these constituencies.
I agree.
It's not about political parties. You as a resident of this area, you know the person that is concerned about Half Mile. You know the person that is really concerned about Canvas City 1 mile. You know that person is living in your area. You know that person. That is the person you select, you surround, and you tell them, we want you to represent us at the town council level. Forget about the parliament, the political parties bringing a candidate and said, this person, we putting them up for your constituency. When last are many persons in Region 10? Do you know the councillor in your constituency? Have you seen them for the last 6-7 months? Do they
Wow.
understand what is going on in your constituency? And I would say no. Do they really represent your interests? I had a perfect example. For 1 year, I've been asking for 3 lights in my street because it's pitch black. Before, I used to buy the lights. But then I understand the town council had over 100 and something lights. It's in the town council. And I'm telling you, it's sitting in there now. Over a year ago. And they're not up on the poles that need them. So this time that I went home, I went directly. I went to LUCSL. I said, I need these post number. And I go to town council. I meet the town clerk. I raise hell. They give me the light in my hand. I went and got to the LUCSL and I get them put up. And so my street looked different. I took it on myself. But those lights, and I'm telling the entire Linden, they're sitting in the town council as we speak. Because the councillors fail to carry where gotta get these lights, carry the list and say where gotta get these lights and submit a list to the town clerk, and the town clerk will issue them to the clerk and the clerk and to the councillor, and the councillor would go out. And I have made that representation to the councillor 1 year ago. 1 year ago. And I went home for a couple of weeks. I had it done for myself and my community. So I say, why do we need a political party to present councillors to represent us?
Right.
We stand in our community, and the same way we can stand in the National Assembly and represent our region, our community, because we understand it. It's not about, we got to forget about this party politics thing what is run. We have a movement. And
Right.
a movement, we moving forward. That's the idea.
That's
We
it.
want to move forward.
Thank you. Thank you,
Beautiful,
Mr.
beautiful,
Chairman. That's
beautiful,
it. We have a movement
beautiful,
and we're
chair.
moving forward.
Yes.
I love it.
We
So
moving forward.
listen, so brothers, thank you. Thank you. I love where this is going. When Grayson returns, I'll ask him a question because this is so critical. Jason and other brothers. Coalition. We've heard people. That's been the call for the longest while. People say they need to get to the PPP, and they don't want APN. They want a PNC, but they demanded that there's a coalition that must be formed in this country. Why do you think Ghanaians are asking so much for there to be? Hold on. Let me not go there yet. Let me go and go there yet. Let me talk to Grayson quickly, brother. Grayson, I know that you sometimes a gym animal. I want to ask you a question about Region 10 because you're talking about Linden, voices from Linden tonight, one mission. We have a Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, his name is Charles Ramson. For the past 5 years, 5 years. 5 years he spent as this minister, being paid over $1.8 million a month, 1.7 plus million per month. Hopping in our Toyota Land Cruiser like a big boy, drive around the place like a little demigod. You live in Linden, Grayson. Can you name one public facility that you can go to use a gym? Just one in all of Linden.
No, that's a resounding no. I don't think there's any in Linden. They don't invest in such. I don't think they invest in such. As it relates to sports in general, there's been football has been dead at the club level. because there's no facility to play football. Cricket has been non-existent for a while, like years. I used to play cricket. I'm a sportsman. I play
Hmm.
cricket, basketball, football. I tried a bit of volleyball also. But
Hmm.
as it relates to sports, there's no facility to play any real sports in Linden. The only place we can play some amount of football on a grass field here in Linden is Wisborg Primary School, secondary school's ground. And because it's a small ground, because there's so much football tournaments that is being played almost simultaneously, there's considerable wear and tear on the ball field. So sports football is paused ever so regularly. You don't ever have a tournament played its entirety without a stoppage. Even
Wow.
so, even if even the recent Exxon Mobile football schools football tournament, the ground was in a deplorable state by the time the finals was about to play. You see, it looked like pigs were running there. It was so muddy, slushy. And if you don't believe me, you can go on the page, the New Era page, and you'll see the finals. All the students' skin were muddy. You could hardly recognize the uniform they had on. As it relates
See,
to
brothers,
as it relates
you can see. Sorry, you can hear what's happening here. In that there's a minister, a whole ministry with billions of dollars available to be spent, and you cannot find one place in this community in where a young man can go to the gym, young man can go to the gym, old man, because we have to exercise. The older we get, the more you should try to strengthen your bones, your muscles. We have no such facility. What is happening in Linden? Let's hear from the other guys as well. What's happening? Why will this happen? Jason, you can talk to us. No sports facility. If you want to play for cricket, nowhere to play it apart from the road and maybe the beach somewhere. Nothing much to be done, or spike run or something. But what's happening in our community? No play for football to be played to any standard that we had before. And we have a minister of culture, youth, and sports. Talk to us, Jason.
Yes, Apostle. So, like Jesus said, right? And I would agree, there is no public facilities, no gym, no sports club that is completed, no pool, nothing when it comes to sports, no cycling track, nothing. And I agree with what you're saying. It's true. There is hundreds of millions of dollars that does be allocated for the youth culture and sports, but for some reason nothing going on in Linden. And I know exactly the reason for that, because we would have passed where Lenora, we would have
Yes,
passed
yes,
Lenora before yesterday, or yesterday it was, and
yesterday.
we are there, right? I read somewhere on an article on Facebook, today's news source, a big massive stadium is being built in Borby, somewhere up
Yeah, Palmyra, Palmyra.
area. Good, right? But here we are, uh, uh supposed to be stadium in Rizrock for 10 years now. It can't be completed. It ain't nowhere close to complete to me, right? I don't think 80% of the work is being done there.
No.
Um, I can't find words to describe what, all I could plead with the people tonight is that, look, when election come, we could do something about all of this, right? We
Yeah.
could select the right leaders, and I am pleading with the viewers here to give the people's movement a chance to serve you and to deliver for. when election day reach. You give people's movement a chance, and this group of people gonna deliver for you,
Thank you, brothers.
right? It is
Thank
so
you.
well. I can remember there's a little boy we play football on the pitch, especially in the rain. You know, it was fun for me. But you know, little trend was see danger, right? And on to this day, the same thing got to be going on. Children have to be playing on the street, whether it's football, cricket. There's no proper
Yeah.
ground when Easter time for people to go and fly little kite. They gotta fly the kites on the street. Next thing you know, the kite getting on the electric wires
Wire.
and
Yeah.
it's just terrible. And I just hope that Guyanese open the eyes and see and make the right choice when election time reach, which is in a matter of
Thank you.
a week.
Right. Thank you. Conan,
let me
what's
just
going on
let
last
me
time
just
regarding sports, man?
let me just follow up on this. When you look at this whole thing, it looks like a premeditated act. These people premeditate to kill the sports in this town of Linden. Now, we all know that Linden always produce the best athletes, the
Yep.
best football players,
Yes.
and the best of everything. And it is so heartrending sometimes to know that we, the people of Linden, this is not no little village, this is a town.
Right.
We don't have somewhere, a real recreation place that we could keep. You realize football dead in this town? You
Dead.
realize that we don't
Dead.
even have
Done.
no teams in this town? You tell me it's premeditated.
Yes. I believe it
You
is.
we got Kashif them walking around this place when yesterday I went bluffing Linden people, but the conversation already grounds them for look them after at election time. 1 to the 4
Tell me.
years, you didn't even finish the synthetic court. You come for bluff people that you know a Zarbal feel. You see these people some a pack of liars,
Do you hear
brother.
Conan? Do you hear me
Brother,
like
let me listen, man. Let me listen, cause I just get worked up. Let me listen for a while, cause I
no, you're
fed up
supposed
with
to
the
get worked
bull.
up.
I fed up with these people lies, friend. You come in wrong in election time now for tell people what. You come for fix Zarbal field, and you can't even fix the synthetic court. Let me show you something. Before this month here out, the court could finish if they really put money into it. These people got a strategy. They mean to go slow. If you vote for we gonna finish it. I could remember
That's what I'm saying for
the
real.
minister come up here and stand up with Figgy, and said to Figgy that the PNC started saying they can't finish it, and we gonna finish it in how much months? 2 months, they said. And up to today, it ain't finished. The PVP and shame.
5 years.
Y'all try with
I
them.
can't finish it.
Y'all try them like people, man. People of London watching at these things, and trust me, if the people of London want to punish for the next 5 years, vote for the PVP. Simple.
That's
That's
good.
it.
Cause you didn't even talk about Bami Primary School yet, Conan. Because I know you get started tonight.
Brother,
It's all on this broadcast.
brother,
Hey.
Oh my,
this
oh my.
this morning program, I was about all of them. Till I invite the brother, what the life was. So, tell me invite the brother, Okani Blair, to come and make a contribution and he run. Because they can't talk to the highlighter. These
Man,
people
can't.
just shame. They're talking about some track record. So I start laying out some track record from the Amelia Falls Road and the cable where they
Right.
running from Georgetown to let them. I was on the project. I was one of the foremen on all two projects and it failed. So what track record PvP this be talking about? Oh, yeah, I'll try with them, man. I wear with
No,
lies. I set up for lies. It look like I got to my
that's
grave
good.
with 4 lies. Not this go wrong. I'm with
No.
the people movement. Yeah.
And change must come to us. So, brother
Change
said,
gotta come.
um,
Change gotta come.
let's let's end tonight because you have to do this again. We do this very often. People need to be familiar with the faces of others as well who will be coming here.
Yes.
Because I believe that I don't expect us as the people's movement to just have lawyers and doctors sitting before the screen and say, well, I studied in Germany, I studied in Russia. No, we study here. It's called grassroots, ground level, ground up,
Yes.
Exactly,
walking in
exactly.
mud. That's what we study. We study to see
Yeah.
police come with gun at the bridge and start shooting like they ain't go. That's what we study. We study, like I tell people when I go in certain meetings, I say, listen, man, let me tell you something. You could talk all the fancy speech you want in Georgetown, Barbies, cover your protest, the police put barrier in Georgetown, they stand behind and watch you, and you all say, we want justice, and whatever, and you go home, everybody all right. In Barbies, they put no barrier, police fall there and watch you, and you lick them one time, no problem. I say, but Linden, where I came from, that's why I talk with such passion. I see bodies, I see bullet, you see blood. So our
Yes.
passion kind
So
of
true.
different, because we got different
So
experience
true.
there. So when it comes to Linden, we have a passion because we have experience with pain on this criminal plan.
Let
Go
me
ahead,
say this
Conan.
quickly. Let me say this here quickly, Mr. Landon. You know what is really worries me also? Linden have brilliant people here. Why is it that you got to send a Malik Edgel to this town? You know nothing but politics. You don't know nothing about infrastructure. You don't know nothing. I already feel you know the Bible properly, right?
I think you know
And
it either.
you sending a man, you sending a Malik Edgel to this town is who don't even come and sit and listen to the people. He's come like a bully for bully people in this town here. We got people here, one thing our representatives that they all have here. They're not competent enough to perform their duties. You know what I mean? Listen to me. I believe whatever area you're living in, they're supposed to have representatives right there who dealing with the people.
Yes.
'Cause this is the only way you could feel your neighbor, you could feel your brother. But if you got a man who live in a happy high-tech life to come and deal with the poorer class of people, we would not get the vibes. So
I feel you,
these things
Conan.
need to change. It
Of
need to
course.
change. Thank you so
And
much.
change
Let me
itself.
ask
Thank you so much.
let me enlighten you what's really going on. Just as though the people government don't want nothing to Linden, that is why they send Ejeli. Ejeli is the worst of all. And that is why he is here. Even his party members is complaining, you know. They don't like very disrespectful. Nobody like he, and they know that they can't send it to no other region, so they choose to send it dumpy in this what they
Yes.
consider right
No, the law is to send it
area.
to our Indian area. The people them going to chase it. So what is do?
Right,
The people inside the dark pen. So that they send it down here. You
right.
know?
It's a sad man. You see, that's why Conan and stuff and y'all must be the house assembly. That's what happened. We talk real fast. We ain't playing here. You talk it real and
So,
talk it straight. Right?
well,
Go
I
ahead, Mr.
I
Chairman.
think our representation in Region 10 sucks on all levels from the opposition side. We had 5 years, um, at least one member of parliament was non-existent, and the other one was around doing whatever is charitable work and so forth, and sits on the PAC committee or whatever in the National Assembly. And our representation for Region 10 was not really taken seriously in the parliament. If you go around in most of the regions across Guyana, even to places that are not as popular as Linden, and I want parents to notice something that has children. The first lady would have went all around and build these top of the line parks for children. What
Yeah.
happened to Linden? We have the perfect spots for that. We have the
Yeah.
bandstand, we have the Egbert Benjamin area, we have we have the area where the I love Linden sign is, and there's vast lands all over.
Nothing in Kukwani either. Nothing I tune in. Nothing.
What happened to Region 10? This is how, because we care for your children. This is because we care for your children. So I want smart people, smart women, smart fathers that want to have a family and take his children out one day to the park to have fun, to play. You don't qualify for that because you're not living maybe in the elite places or in a place that they think that you should have these kind of facilities, right? So why Region 10 was skipped, I'm not sure.
Wow.
Did our parliamentarians made any representation after seeing what is going on? You look at the seawall or what happened at the seawall, the national park, New Amsterdam, Corriverton, all these places, Barticle got beautiful areas created by the First Lady with the tax dollars of the people. But nothing came for the people of Linden. We don't deserve it, I think. And
That's
there's where
serious.
I am saying our representatives failed us because we never heard them stand in Parliament to say and ask a question: what happened to Linden with this facility
Region 10.
for our children? What happened to Region 10 with these facilities for our children? And there's where my heart burns. And I can tell you that is why I decided I am with the people's movement, because I want to see a change, and I want to be a part of that change. I'm not here to go sit in a position, but I know if any one of us here get in a position that we can make sure that things happen for Linden, we will do the right thing. If we have to talk to somebody across the floor to make sure it happens for our tongue and region, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're not going to be stiff
Yeah.
necked. We're going to make sure our residents of Region 10 benefits
Yeah.
from whatever is there.
Definitely.
And that is what our focus is. It's not about who's going to be president, who's going to be prime minister, who's going to have so much seats in parliament. All these people go in parliament and they sleep almost half of the day in parliament without getting the people's work done.
Yeah.
Look at all the video you see on Facebook. Somebody there like this, somebody like this. They take out picture period there like this.
Mr. Chairman, all while receiving big salaries. So
Yes.
Yeah.
let's not forget that they're being paid to sleep. They're being
So
paid to go there to
Wow.
sleep.
think about it. You being
And you
called
can't
by
sleep on
your
your job.
employer. You being called by
Exactly.
your employer like that on the job, what happens to you?
You
Home.
gone home. You
Okay,
gone
so
home.
you're on the job. You're on the job representing the people's interests. You ain't even taking notes. You're just there yarning and sleeping. You ain't representing your region. You're
Wow.
sleeping or you're absent because you didn't
Like
take your
Barrett.
parliament today.
Barrett says a clown show. Barrett called a clown show. He doesn't have to go there.
Tell me,
And he's paid to be there.
why do we have to go through these things? Why? And
If I
our
may
leader,
briefly, Apostle.
yes,
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Comrade Chairman asked the question just now. He don't know why some of these things happen in Linden. The highlighter alluded to the sports and how Linden have been winning most of these the national championships and so on over the years. So I would want to point out two things. One, not just Linden Region 10 is the one region in the country that has historically overwhelmingly voted for the PNC and against the PPP. That's the
Yeah.
first thing. Secondly, in all major sports competition, national sports competitions, including the schools national championships, Region 10 has been dominant for decades. That is one of the reasons that they have changed the structure now, and
Yes.
they don't want it to be by region, but they want it to be by
By school.
schools.
I concur with that. I concur with that.
Yes, since in the early 2000s, they started to remove football from Linden. These people have strategically planned and executed their plans to stifle Linden in that sense, because they know how strong we are in sports. And so they change all of these systems, even the national championships, right? This sports club could have been rehabilitated to the point where nationals could have been held at sports club,
Yeah.
right? But it never happened. The facilities that we talk about, we have space in Linden to have about 4 or 5 gyms. We have space in Linden for about 5 or 6 basketball courts. We have space in Linden for football grounds. But what is hopeful for the residents of Linden is that the people's movement internally have already been having discussions about how to tackle some of these things that we are seeing lacking in our community.
And if
So
I may,
just remember
brothers,
that.
sorry. Yeah, if I may, because we old men, we can't stay up too late. Like Grace. But listen, we have got, honestly speaking, the will to have sporting facilities like almost sporting colleges where you can come into Region 10 from any part of Guyana and meet every major sport just about. A facility built, a mega facility. So our children can get into here, our young men can get in here, young women, and we have going we have the means, we have the space, we have acres upon acres of land. We don't have flooding problems here. Apart from what they did the other day in Mackenzie, block up all the bridges, the drains, got no sense. But we live in the hilly, sun and clear region. So we have got the means to do this. In reference to Kokwani, Ituni, and those places, we have not forgotten, will not forget the importance of these communities and how necessary it is to give the young men and women facilities. Because who knows, you can produce. Kokwani had one of the best school basketball teams in Guyana.
Yes.
Kokwani. These people have done everything they can to destroy sports in Region 10. How could you have people, a fellow is in college in the USA, one of the best point guards ever produced in school came from Kokwani. But go to Kokwani and see what way they have to play and the kind of facilities they have. Because you have a minister of culture, youth and sports who believes that he's a show boy. He doesn't have to do hard work. But I'm sure if you take a young man like Grayson and say, Grayson, you're going to the House of Assembly to represent in bodybuilding and sports in general, represent the youth. I can promise you do more than Ramson. Because he wouldn't come and go to House Assembly and play around and try to give some fancy speech to sound good. He's going to say that I went to Rockstone and I saw that there was no ball field in Rockstone. What y'all doing? We want those fancy language. What we doing here? That's right. That's the kind of language on House Assembly. I mean, the speaker want to do like Manzino there and tell you, but you can't talk. I know Grayson and I want Conan and them and y'all to do it with Manzino if you ever get back there. Because Conan will ask Manzino, who you talking to? When you put your up in mind, but you gotta ask this other question first. Who you think you're talking to? You qualified to be here? Because the man on the street feels the pain that the wealthy man ever feels. See? So that's what I'm saying. We need to have very, very stern, very strict, very responsible people in the House Assembly. And it begins not from Parliament, it must begin in our little community spaces. That's where representation must begin. Don't rush to House Assembly. Represent, and that's what highlighted and others were doing. You guys represent where you are. So if you can represent where you are, like Jason Block 42, he represents where he is. It's easy to represent another community, then another one, then another one, because you're accustomed to representing and standing for what is right where you are.
Yes.
So this is a 2 minute section, 2 minute segment now. In 2 minutes, check your timer. 2 minutes, you tell the audience if you think that a coalition is important and why is it important? Why should parties coalesce at this time? Are you ready? Who is starting with? The elders? Okay, well, highlight ready then. Start with it. I like to start with the younger brothers, man. The young man's strong. Go ahead, Grayson.
I think it's important on one condition. We need like-minded people to coalesce with. You understand?
Wow.
We need people that have the people's interests at heart. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say any more. We need people that are like-minded, and we need people that have the people's best interest at heart.
Well, as you to say less. Thank you. Jason.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it is important for the coalesce to happen because of the fact that the wicked PPP will do whatever it takes to stay in the position that they are right now. And we need eyes and hands and everything that we need to work so that we could get them out of that position. And and if we collate, then we could accomplish that.
Thank you. Thank you. Elton, is a coalition important and why?
Yes, Apostle. So, coalescing is definitely important. The first reason why is because of the size and the power the PPP has. Unless parties coalesce, we cannot oust them. Now, for reference, let us take 2010 or was it 2011 elections and 2015 elections. It is important for us to note that the PPP did better in 2015 than they did in 2010. However, they remained in government in 2010, but they were ousted in 2015, even though they did better in terms of the percentage of votes for the total amount of votes. But they did not go back in power because there was a coalition with the APNU and the AFC. So,
okay.
Additionally, when the parties come together, we have a wider range of persons. We have more ideas being put together to lead the country forward. And I think that is important as well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well,
Highlighter.
coming from the highlighter. Well, I believe in coalescing. Trust me. Now, you listen to the word coalesce. It shows you clearly, Mr. Land, Apostle. It shows you clearly you're saying to the nation that, yo, I don't want this thing to be me alone thing. This thing must be our thing.
Yeah.
That's why you name this party the People Movement.
Yeah. Correct.
The People Movements. When you hear the word the People Movements alone, it shows you clearly that I don't want this thing for myself. Everybody must be involved. So when you were asking for a coalescing parties, people to come together, you show the world clearly that you don't want no one more governance. You want
No.
a body of people who are willing to come together and work in the interest of our Guyanese people. So, Pastor, You ain't going wrong. You're not going wrong at this time. And the world looking at you because you're saying to people that I don't want to do it alone. Let's work together as a team and do it together and build our country. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, highlighter. Thank you so much, my brother. Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
is the coalition important?
it's very important. Especially as I'm gonna double back here on our younger brother who says, especially you have persons of like mind coming together to do whatever is right, to have results. You have a wider cross section of persons will be represented when different parties or different persons from different areas coming together to form this unit. You know, it's a big umbrella with lots of tentacles. So you'll be able to reach in areas that hadn't representation before, or just had that representation one time and a party never went back. They get a vote and they enjoy their life and they never went back. And especially when persons that are in this coalition comes from the different areas, so that you know your representative is right there and I can talk to my representative. So that's why it's important. And I think it's more result oriented. You have persons of different mindset that
Yeah.
pulls this puzzle together, a whole, whether it's a whole developmental plan for a country. It's not a one-man show and a man sit down behind a desk like Barajagdio and direct everything that has to happen. And when they done, they call the ministers and they shout to the minister, they shout and everybody, they shout like if they are semi-gods. That's not what a coalition is about. It's putting into action what, as I said, we want to see happen, that every Guyanese will enjoy. And so we'll have the representation from persons that really care about moving forward. And it goes right back to who is your representative in the House of Assembly? Is it someone from the elitist squad that never walked in mud one day, that never slept on a hungry stomach, that never had to light a lamp to study, or anything like that, or had to fight their way out of poverty because they were born with a golden spoon? And I will leave it right there. So coalition is important because you reach more persons. You have a tentacle that is out there and on coming from under this umbrella to reach different persons, different neighborhood, different religion, different race. You know, it's unlimited. So that's why it's important.
Thank you. Thank you, brothers. And my view, if I may share it with you, is that the 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 purpose of coalescing, and that's even to speak to what Brother Elton spoke about, it's not, for me, it's not about defeating the PPP. The PPP have defeated themselves in 2025. Adriana Young has defeated them as a person, one person. The likes of Melly Mel defeated them. Rickford Burke, when they go as far as to engage in trans-border tyranny. But most importantly, when they, on our home soil, watch an 11-year-old girl be abducted, kidnapped, and use the police to stand in front there, because there's no way that any small man could cause policemen to act the way they did. When Ghanaians stood and saw that, I am promising all of Ghana the PPP has lost because of Adriana Young. This is an 11-year-old child who touched so many nerves and hearts that the supporters said to them, "We're done with y'all, because this gone to another place here now, where people picnic safe no more. So we're done with you." And when you see young people, young persons of Indo-Guyanese descent and so on, young ladies coming out on camera showing their face and say, "We don't want you anymore," that goes far and deep, very, very deeply. When young Africans and mixed race and all ethnic groups say, "We don't want to deal with you," This is not the days when you have to read newspapers and wait for news to come out and put on TV to Sharma or somebody. No, this or Capital News. This is a real deal now. In real time, they saw for over 24 hours the government refusing to do what they should. And they also saw a man who's called the president lying. They also had time to take a note of the fact that he was so disrespectful to journalists and so on. Say, I'm done with that. Threw his hand up, gone. So I don't see or foresee the PVP being a threat unless they coalesce with certain people in GCOM. That's where the coalition will occur. And the rigging has started through a bureaucratic process where they frustrate new parties so much that some people realize that it doesn't make sense to do this. Still, I believe that they'll have a tough hill to climb because they have allowed the murder of a child to go as though it's a normal thing. But why would coalescing be so important still? Because it speaks to responsibility. Brothers, you're here. Viewers, you're here. You've never heard me once say to you, apart from what I tell you, give me 24 hours. That's what I ask for. In any coalition, all I ask for in reference to presidency is 24 hours to do it by them. And then I resign. I promise all that. Because we have a happy country after 24 hours, 1 day or 2 days maximum. We'll have the happiest, you all ain't got no problem. Ghana will be almost like heaven with 48 hours to do Barrett, and I resign after that. You never heard me seriously sit at any table say, I have to be anything or else, or you all have to come and join the people's movement or else. I don't do that. Because the spirit of this movement, as Conan and others said, is about the people. The people. At every level in society, the people must feel the vibe, feel the energy to move this country forward. And I believe that this is the hour where we can make it happen. So please be aware that we would not break our word to say that we stand alone. We don't want anybody else around us. We don't have that attitude. We believe in teamwork to build this nation. So tomorrow in Linden, you're going to see us at 11 o'clock. We'll assemble by court first. I'll be coming around to you to meet you, to greet you, to engage you and encourage you to know that, I don't know if you can see my shirt. Can anybody see this?
Yes, yes.
Your vote is equal to your voice. That's what it's about. Some of you are scared. You can't say much, but you can say a lot with your finger. Your vote is equal to your voice. We'll be out tomorrow. Look for the shirts. Look for us standing there. Many of you are asking for t-shirts, and I'm encouraged to know that you have an interest in receiving them. To be speaking to the printers, they should be available. We're making decisions at the council level for them to say how t-shirts will be distributed and so on. But they shall be here. I think some should be on the way already. Some more. Let's stand together, brothers and sisters. My brothers, thank you all so much for this night. Much love. Tomorrow, 11 o'clock, we're hitting the ground. Mr. Chairman, I wish you could have been here.
Yes,
You can't
yes,
if it's taking too
He,
long now.
he will. He will be here. He will be here.
I will be here. Don't worry, I will.
He
I
will
will.
be here.
Full stop.
I could
When you show up,
guarantee he will be here.
right.
Yeah, he will be here.
When you show up,
Let me say this to
I'm
you. Mr.
mobilizing.
Adams he actually don't have to be here, you know. He's here right
right,
now. Mr.
correct.
Adams knows everything that's going on. More than me, who up on the ground. Mr. Adams, even though he's there, he's here. Trust me.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, it's literally I normally call people to say, hey, so it's like
Tomorrow.
look, the other day I call my dad and say, you know, the pit bull get out to the yard and he's sitting at the gate and nobody can pass the street. I wake them up in the morning at 6 o'clock to tell them that. So you know, it's like I'm there, but I'm mobilizing. I'm encouraging people to get out with the movement. You know, so I'm getting people and I started making sure our group in Region 10 is going to be growing a little bit. So I'm reaching out to the persons that wanted to be a part of the movement in Region 10, so that at any juncture we can call them to work or anything like that. So I'm getting those persons together, and I know you guys will do a great job on the ground, my word will be out. My word will be out, and they will receive you with open arms.
I'm so grateful. We started the
Well,
market, but over days we'll be moving on. Go ahead,
yeah,
Conan.
but just to inform you, Mr. Chair, a lot of people was calling me, even though I was passing on the road today. A lot of people said, "We're going now. We gotta get George T. We want to join this party." So trust me, we're going out there tomorrow, and I could tell you we're gonna get over 2,000 names tomorrow. Trust me. Two
Wow.
thousand persons will be joining the people movement
They're ready.
on the bus park, because I got people who looking at this light on the minibus park. All of those vendors out there will be joining the people movement also. Rainbow City, Caro people asking me what's going on. And
They're
trust
ready.
me, they will be joining the people movement. I'm going to testify to that. Thank you.
I look forward to it. The highlight
Yes.
has
All right,
spoken.
guys. Have a wonderful rest
Brothers,
of the
y'all
night.
take care, do well. I really enjoy this night with y'all, man. So tomorrow we'll be on the road. At 11, we out there to make it happen. Y'all
Yes.
rest well.
Thank you.
Engine's turn tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Viewers,
you. Thank you.
you've
All right.
heard it. The
Yeah,
brothers,
brothers.
the brothers were here. And we are headed out tomorrow in Linden. That's where it all started. I told you it started in the market, so I'm going back to the market with brothers this time and sisters to let you know that where it started 20 years ago. It wasn't intended to be here, but it started there just for standing for the sake of people. Standing to let Alino and Frank Anthony cannot make me do anything that I don't want to do to myself. But we're standing there as brothers tomorrow, as sisters, as Lindeners, to let all of Ghana know that we intend to stand strongly. Kokwani, Ituni, and other places will be there with you as well. Rockstone, all across Region 10, and then by extension, all across Guyana, the People's Movement shall be. In reference to this coalition that will be born, I believe that it's on the cards, it's being inked out. We must work together. This is not a one-man show, a one-party show. This is where Guyanese will unite, having like minds. No big one, small one. We all one, and we love our country. Do well, and thank you so much. See you tomorrow, Lindeners. And we'll be streaming live, so y'all can join us at 11.